Again, Janet Vaughn. What?
Good job on the name.
I have a radio background. I can pronounce near anything. Theoretically. All right, next up to the open mic, we have Kevin Taylor. Hi.
Hi.
I've got a couple I'm going to read. My poems are generally not too short or too long, but these are both the extremes. This is a little thing, like a chapbook, really small. And it's of senryu, which is a bit like haiku. They look like haiku, but they're not.
Yeah.
Haiku is more to do with nature, and this is more to do with human nature. They're a bit edgier, and they let me say things I couldn't otherwise say. However, so my favorite one in here is, of course they're not titled, but the hungry poet greets each silence, waiting for his supper. Ha.
Awesome.
So, pardon?
Sorry for some pretty stretching.
Oh yeah.
Sorry, I had to.
I'm going to get my glasses for this. Just.
Yeah, I know that one well. Yeah. I'm starting
This poem, it spans a lifetime, some little preamble here, but the events that began this story were remembered and told from the experiences of a little boy. The story is not perfectly accurate in that events were pushed into a single sequence. They were in fact spread out over time and locations. The Sunrise was a hotel on Vancouver's Hastings Street. The Child Welfare Office was in Edmonton. The bed in a box sequence was as exact and as brief as the poem required, and her name was Lila. I was adopted when I was 5 years old, and this poem goes from the time I was 4 until a time later. It's called The Marking of Lives. One thing you should know before I tell you, the bed in a box sequence, when I was taken from the family, you were brought to a big office where there was a waiting room, and there were women and children sitting quite nervously along the sides. I was 4 years old. I remember quite a lot earlier than that. And at the back of the room there was a box, like 2 or 3 of these tables together, with a lid. And a bed was made in that box. And the way in which they separated the child from the family, or whoever was there, was they brought you a glass of orange juice, which was not orange juice. It had a sleeping drug in it. And as you fell asleep, they put you in the box, they put the lid down, and when you woke up, nobody was there. I was in about 1960. So that wasn't a good way to go. So, the marking of lives. This is the closest we have been in 47 years. Graveside, I close my eyes, see again her lips smeared, her head turned, as she had lain unconscious. Whispers of other men, immoral living, declared unfit for motherhood, and I am only days from 4. Before that, in white shift, sitting at the foot of her bed and singing quietly to herself, singing, brushing, and lifting her hair, letting it fall. She is lovely to me. Later that night, weeping, anger, fists, and cries. At 51, I looked like him, fist man, father. He wept in Irish taverns filled with weeping, singing drunks. She had danced the sunrise on Hastings, whatever that meant. She was gone when I was taken. I was gone as she returned. A child welfare office filled with nervous women, children dressed in Sunday best and a faint wash of fear. These memories, all memories, discomfort and jar. A metal cup with orange juice, warm, sweet, and slightly bitter. The far end of the room, a bed made in a wooden trunk, eyes slipping, box lid closing, sleep. Bewildered, pushing, opened, the room lies dark. The room lies stark, white, and empty. No mothers, no children, no one waiting here. The lump that rises to my throat is the same one that rises in spasms from my chest on that dark box of white-roomed and room-filled afternoon. In 47 years, I would stand above her on that overlooking hill. No words to mark her place, a plot numbered between other unmarked and numbered graves. Maybe she was gone again. Gone before I could tell her what had happened, that I was sorry, that I would be a good boy, beg her, find me. Eyes opened, I have waited long enough. The sun is hot, white lines trail across the sky, paper from one pocket, pen from another, I write, roll tight and push as far in as this ground will allow. White paper, ink, graveside for her, wayside for me. A mark was kept, a mark was left. A deep breath in, not held, and out.